Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I know it's been a while, maybe months. I can't even remember. Been really busy. Not with concrete. It's been slow, but with house flipping. But I'm back at it. Working on bikes. Eh, Like I said, I haven't really done much in 2, 3 months. But I did pick up an auction bike, and that's kind of what I've been doing lately. My other content, fixing other bikes and selling them really, hasn't been sparking a lot of views lately. So I kind of gave up on it and, moved on. So here's my newest project. It's not really a project. I try and fix them to a point where they're rideable so I can sell them. They're auction bikes, so they're crashed and they have salvage titles. But here is my latest. It is a MT10. It's a 2024 model. I picked it up at Copart auction, and it is pretty wrecked in the front. And the problem is, it's easily fixable. There's no frame damage on it. The triple clamp kind of bent the crap and broke. The upper tree is toast. The controls survived. The forks bent. The rim's destroyed. And I can't find parts. So this is my biggest problem. You know, there's the front rim. I took this all off, and it was a struggle trying to get all this off with a bent forks and a triple. There's the destroyed oil cooler. The radiator is still on it. The radiator does leak a little bit. It is damaged. The oil cooler is destroyed and has a big hole in there, so I can't run it for longer than 5 seconds without it puking all the oil out of it. Fork tubes. I mean, everything on this thing. The gauges survived. The bike only has 1096. The battery's dead, otherwise I'd show you. But this is what I've been doing the last few months. I haven't really recorded anything because you guys are not watching my videos, so I kind of stopped recording stuff. I think I've been at this almost 3 years now, and I think I have 115 subscribers. So that's pretty sad. I don't edit my videos. Maybe that's the problem. I don't have fancy things on the screen. I don't put the, what is it called? Those little 5 second, little animated things. I don't do any of that stuff. I could barely use the video. Whatever's recording on my phone, that's what you guys get. So this is where I'm at. I paid a lot of money for this bike. This is a $15,000-$16,000 bike, brand new. It's a 2024 model, and I cannot find parts for it to get it back running. So the last couple months, I pretty much flipped 2 or 3 auction bikes. One was an R7. I had a couple. What the hell are they called? The Ninja 650s. One was a 2024, the other one was a 2025. And I know I fixed those, got them running, and I sold them for a little profit. I mean, you're spending so much on these bikes, you can't really get much profit on them because they still have a salvage title at the end of the day. So I'm selling them as track parts, or export bikes. But this one, I cannot find one single part. They do share platforms with the R1. R1, there's forks listed for an R1. The rims, I think they're different style, but they would fit. This particular bike has the teal rims, which is kind of weird. Everything else is charcoal gray, and then boom, you see the teal wheels, and then it has a teal accent right here, and that's it. So it's a tough bike to find parts for. One person is selling just the forks for $1,500. I mean, I can't pay $1,500 for used forks. I mean, I'm trying to make a profit here. The oil cooler, can't even find it. There's one in Australia for like $300-400. Radiator, there's a lot of aftermarket radiators, but you know, those are junk. I don't want to put an aftermarket radiator on there. Front rim, cannot find it. Virtually impossible to find. And all these parts are, you know, ridiculous. I think the rim alone is like $1,000 at the dealer, or even a online parts supplier. So I'm not sure. I mean, what do you guys want me to do with it? I would love to fix it, but it could take months to wait for somebody to part out their bike, and so where I can get a decent amount of used parts out of it. But the problem is they all crash at the front end, so all these front end parts are ridiculous. I mean, it needs a fairing stay, it needs a lower triple, an upper triple, an oil cooler, a radiator, and yeah, of course the plastics are damaged, the headlight is damaged, and that alone was ridiculous. I mean, there's not many of those as well. So every one of these parts that are damaged is 500 plus used condition if they're available, and at that point I'm spending probably $4,000 or more on used parts on a bike I already, you know, paid a fortune for, and then it still has a salvage title. So sorry for the, you know, post of disappointment, but I have nothing for you guys. All I did was I took the forks, pretty much the front end, I took it apart because it was damaged and I couldn't roll it around because the front rim was destroyed, and it pushed into the header and you couldn't roll the thing. So I mean, let me know what you want me to do with it. I mean, the only other option is part it out, but you know, what am I going to show parting it out? You guys are going to see me disassemble it, and then what? That's going to be pretty boring. And then fixing it's going to take months. So any suggestions? I'll take any input you have. You know, I'm still working on other projects. That Turbo Super Hawk, I'm getting very close to completing. I know it's been almost 2 years, and I apologize, but you know, I've been focusing on other projects. Projects here. The Hayabusa, that's just been sitting here waiting for me to finish my other projects so I can turbocharge this one. I got sick of it sitting here, so I literally listed it on Facebook, but you know, I have to unfortunately list it for a higher cost because I got so much money into this bike and it still looks horrible. It needs all plastics, and it was a drag bike, and if you see my previous videos, you saw me, you know, removing the engine and and replacing the cylinder head on it, and I think I replaced a couple other things, the water pump, the oil pump, and I think I put a Barnett clutch in there. I mean, it's been so long, I can't remember what I did to it, and it's still a track bike. You know, I did get the rotor that was missing, and the caliper, and the brake lines, and what else? I changed the dented swing arm. I got this swing arm on eBay for free, actually. You know, he mailed it to me and he wrapped it in plastic, and that's how he shipped it. He literally shipped the damn thing in plastic, just with plastic wrap, and it came back. It was delivered all scratched up, and I complained about it, and he refunded my money. So I swapped that out, and I just scrapped the other parts. Still has a damaged seat. The plastics are all destroyed, and I still have the race cap with no seat lock in the back. So I haven't been able to find a decently priced lock set. I mean, it runs, it rides, it stops. It's a nice little commuter. I mean, I wouldn't be revving it every single minute or every single light. It's a good runner. You know, the new Barnett clutch that's in there. It is a pain in the ass to get it in neutral from first and second. Well, it's actually easier to get in neutral from second to neutral than it is getting in neutral from the first gear. But otherwise, it's a runner. So if I sell it, I sell it. If I can get to it, this one will be the next turbo project. And then the ZX14. It's all assembled. Last video I had of this one, it didn't have the plastics on. I didn't want to finish the video and bore you guys with putting damaged plastics on, because that's literally what it is. It's a good runner. She's fast, runs great, stops great, shifts great, and it just, the plastics are ugly. It's got a clean title, 20,000 miles. I got it listed on Facebook Marketplace for $4,500, and it's still here. You know, it is a 2011 model, the last of the Gen 1s. If you look back at the videos, this one had an exploded clutch. It was stuck in gear, and when I took the clutch out, I saw the just clutch pieces. If you want to check that out, see that ZX14 video for that one. And that's about it with this one. This one is for sale. It runs, it drives, it stops. It's pretty damn fast. You know, there's a power commander in there and a Brox exhaust. It sounds awesome. I don't know if the power commander is working or not, but it does light up, and that's a Power Commander 3, so those are obsolete. And as far as other projects, I picked up another ZX14 at auction. This one obviously wrecked, and this one has a damaged. So this one came with the salvage title, of course. It's the auction. It was missing pretty much all the plastics because it was crashed, and it was missing the seat. But it did come with a 240 rear tire kit on there. Chrome wheels, extended swing arm, and I see it has the timing chain tensioner delete. So I have not opened this engine yet to see if it actually had any mods to it, but I did get it running last week. I couldn't run it too long. There's no header on it. There is obviously no radiator. The motor is damaged at the mount. You can see the mount right there. It broke off. The problem with this bike is it took a front end hit, and the forks were bent. It took a front end hit. The forks were bent. I replaced the forks. I picked up a used set of forks. I installed everything, and then I'm like, oh crap, the wheel was still hitting the header. So I'm like, crap, this frame must be bent, because I do not see any damage on this frame to show where it's bent. And I compared the gap in here to the other 2014 that I just showed you, or I'm sorry, to the other ZX14 I just showed you, the 2011 model, and the gap is a lot taller on the 2011 model. So I'm like, oh man, this frame is bent. So I started looking at the frame, started taking stuff off, and sure enough, it's bent and damaged right here. You could see there's some cracking, and it's this tab right here where the battery box is. It's bent. So I mean, this frame's junk anyway. It's a salvage title. You know, here in Illinois, you can't really do anything with a salvage title unless you have a rebuilder's license, to where you can rebuild it and then have it inspected. A private citizen or owner or whatever can't transfer a salvage title to a rebuild title here in Illinois. So it's pretty much junk to me. And being bent, now it's even more. Now it's just scrap. So I have someone that's just going to buy the title in Alabama or somewhere down south, I can't remember. And I'm just going to scrap the frame. I was thinking of rebuilding it. I did get the engine running. It did have low compression in 2 cylinders. And then it had enough compression to run, but it was really low, like 60, 70 pounds. And there was debris, crystallization inside the runners, the exhaust port and the intake runners. So I'm guessing it's probably just holding the valve open just a little bit to where it would leak past it. And I cranked it over. It started up and it sputtered for a little bit, and then boom, it was fine. It ran good. So whatever it was, it blew that garbage out. But I couldn't run it long enough because I have no headers on it or a radiator. And if you run your engine with no headers or exhaust manifold, whatever, you will bend the valves because they will heat up, and then the cold air rushes back in and cools them off too quickly, and bad things happen. But not sure what to do with this one. I wanted to fix it. There was a frame on eBay for like $800-900 with a clean title. I was thinking of swapping it because, I mean, it has a 240 tire kit on it, and with a matching front rim chrome. So I was thinking of saving it. I already invested into forks. What else did I buy for this? I think I bought the forks. Forks are on it. Those are the good ones. And the fairing stay. I think I bought the upper and lower fairing stay bracket. And all I would need to get this thing looking good would be plastics, and then I'd have to do some wiring repair. Gauge cluster is toast. It did not work. I swapped it over to the 2011 ZX14, and it's dead. Only a couple lights light up, but the display is toast. So I have no idea how many miles are on this thing. I'd have to run the VIN and pay to run the VIN, but why bother? It's an 08 model. No one's going to care about the mileage. You figure it's got at least 20,000 miles or more on it, being an 08. And so that's that. Not sure what to do with it. I was going to part it out, but hey, if you guys want me to fix it, do a frame swap for you guys, I can definitely do that. But it's a shame if I can get somebody to buy the kit, the 240 kit for me, from me actually, first, then I'll probably end up parting it out. If nobody wants that 240 kit, because I need $2,500 for the 240 kit. That's front, back rims, extended swing arm, and pretty much any related parts to the kit to get my money back, because I did pay a lot of money for this bike because I thought it was a clean title. It was stated at the auction it was a clean title, and then I received a salvage title, and then I bitched and complained, and they said, oh yeah, but the auction said can possibly change in fine print. So it is what it is. Lesson learned. I got a lot of money into this, so if I sell the 240 kit, then I'll probably just end up keeping it, turning it to stock, getting a clean title frame, and then driving it maybe. Who knows? Probably not going to turbo the ZX14 because those are a pain in the ass to turbocharge, and unlike the Hayabusa, the ZX14 engines don't really like boost. They don't last very long. Here is the 2-year project that is giving me a headache. I'll probably never do this again. So once this is done, I will never touch another carbureted motorcycle ever again. This will be the last carbureted bike I ever purchase or have in my possession. But I'm getting there. Right now, what you're seeing is pretty much how it looked for the last 6+ months. I'm just running the fuel system right now, all the fuel lines. I'm waiting on one fitting, and then once that fitting is in, then the only thing that's left is to wire up both pumps. So I got the scavenge pump down there, and then the other fuel pump underneath the tank there, and hopefully this thing will be running. I can't promise it's going to work because, you know, carburetors and turbochargers or any kind of boost is tough to tune, and especially this style. This is a blow through, not a suck through design, so it's a little more complex because I got to run a fuel system with pressure differential. You know, it's got to see more pressure as boost goes up. So this one has been a 2-year headache. I've had this bike for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now, and the last 2 years it's been sitting like this. So those are my, in a nutshell. So that's everything I have. Oh damn it, these were other 2 projects that my half brother brought to me. This Polaris Genesis with the 1200 triple 2-stroke. It doesn't have spark. I found out if you unplug that black white wire, black white striped wire, whatever it is, and then it has spark again, it'll run. And I found out that that black wire is the kill switch here, or the lanyard switch. So I'm just waiting on a part. I think I gotta buy the whole thing here, but it's beat up. You know, there's a lot of work this thing needs, but I listed this as, you know, a parts jet ski, and you know, it's still here. It's been on Facebook Marketplace for about a month now, and you know, here in Illinois, you know, we're late August, so everybody's going to be putting their jet skis away in another week or 2, and that's the season. So I told my brother to get this damn thing out of here. So he lives in South Carolina, so he'd have a better chance of selling it there. And then he brought me this ultra rare 2-year model run only Grizzly 300. You know, I warned him. I'm like, you know, Grizzlies are a very popular platform. There's many of them. And then he goes and buys a 300, Grizzly 300, that they only made in, I think, 2012 and 2013. So it needs a top end. The parts are ridiculous for this thing, and even harder to find them. I got about $800-900 just into the top end. Well, not me, but my father and my brother do. So I'm waiting on a couple more parts to put it together, but you know, this one's in rough shape. So if it runs, who knows, it might have other issues. But this is the way he brought it to me, in pieces, and he kind of got screwed over on there. He brought it to someone in South Carolina that said they could work on it. They took the engine apart, told him to order a bunch of parts, and then never put the engine back together. He brought it to, and I took one look at it, and I tried to take the piston off because he left the piston on the connecting rod, and the piston did not move back and forth on the pin, the piston pin in the connecting rod. So the piston pin, connecting rod, and piston all seized on the actual connecting rod. So the connecting rod is a little scored. I was able to get the pin out with a big hammer, but I needed you know, to beat the crap out of it to get it out. So there is a little damage to the connecting rod, but you know, I told him, like, listen, if we go into this lower end, forget it, you lost all your money. So he's trying to, you know, sell stuff for profit, and I told him your profit's gonna be gone. So we're gonna wing it. I'm gonna take some emery cloth and kind of clean out the connecting rod, the upper section where the wrist pin goes, and then I'm putting a new cylinder, piston, rings, and a pin in there, and praying. So that's the projects in a nutshell. I'm still working on them a little bit, a couple hours every day, maybe not every day, but a couple hours whenever I can get a chance. And that's it. That's all I've been doing. Sorry I haven't been making many videos for you guys, but I can't get you guys to like and subscribe. So, you know, these projects are coming out of my pocket, and I just only can afford so much. You know, I got 3 kids, a wife, house, 3 businesses I'm running. So it's been stressful and busy. But anyway, I won't ramble on. Only 5 of you are probably going to watch this anyway. But hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye.